segment to talk about THC123 and MyCannaJobs and what they're doing in the cannabis space.
Sure, Mike. As you alluded to, we are a professional services company looking to support the commercial cannabis industry. THC123 provides 3 licensed services to small and medium-sized businesses. We are a licensed professional employer organization, a licensed employment agency, and a licensed insurance agency. So by outsourcing all 3 of those different services, business owners can look to grow on demand.
All right, Dan, you didn't have to unmute there. But anyway, yeah. So, I mean, this is an example here of he's not growing cannabis, he's not selling cannabis, but he's supporting the cannabis industry with a variety of services. And so that would be an example of how others can also help out, right, Dan?
Yeah, it's a great example. I go back to last, 6 months ago. The days don't run together, but Mike and I did a survey of all the people watching the 420 Post and reading the marijuana report. And half of them are actually a little better than half of them were companies that provide professional services to the industry. So it's not just that there's a few guys we talk to that are providing these services. It's a maturing business. So yeah, we're reaching out to people like Anthony as much as we're reaching out to people like Penny that have a retail marijuana operation.
And of course, on the retail side, the Michigan Marijuana Regulatory Agency, I could do it, license requires that there be a social equity component. So if you're a provisioning center, you have to be doing give back for your community. And by giving back or participating in the Hero Project, you fulfill that part of your license. Correct, Dan?
Absolutely right. Yep. And that's an area, again, where, because it's a new industry, I think some people aren't sure what to do with that or not really sure, how to fulfill the obligation. So for us, it kind of came along after the fact. A lot of people said, yeah, I'd love to work with you. I'd love to support veterans. And then when we all kind of said, hey, you're also going to fulfill your social equity obligation, it was just like a bonus on top of doing a good thing anyway.
Yeah, win-win. And of course, as we ramp up the publicity for the Hero Project, everyone such as Anthony working with us will, gain some of that publicity as well. You can stick around if you want, Dan. Maybe you can help me with this interview, but let's talk a little bit about the other part of Anthony's, the other hat you wear, shall we say, which is America's back office, which supplies, just like for the cannabis industry, you have a variety of services that you provide. Let's talk a little bit about what you provide general businesses that may not be involved in cannabis at all.
Sure, Mike, that sounds great. Currently, I also, as the president of THC123, I also am the director of risk management and workers' compensation for America's back office. ABO is actually the parent company to THC123. We just had to create a specific cannabis vertical to deal with the difficulties with banking in the cannabis industry, and then also for insurance. Currently, as the director of risk management, I handle all of our clients' workers' compensation policies, the policy management, the claims management, and also the audits at the end of the year, Mike. For those who don't know, what a professional employer organization is. The best way to think about it is an outsourced third-party Fortune 500 style HR department for small and medium-sized businesses. One of the largest valuable factors is our ability to aggregate risk. So going into the marketplace as a 50 employer company, a 100 employee company, you have certain buying power in the space. Obviously, you have more buying power than someone with 15 employees for medical, dental, vision coverage, for workers' compensation rates. I know they issue some different policy discounts based on payroll numbers. But what a PEO does is able to group your 50 employee company, 100 employee company, and really consolidate all of our clients as one employer. So currently we have nearly 1,000 clients nationwide, domiciled in all 50 states. And we provide outsourced payroll, employer tax management, human resources, employee benefits and retirement plans, and then also my department, workers' compensation and risk management.
So you were saying again, what's that number of? I know you have a vast network that you service around the country. What was that number again?
Oh, we have nearly 1,000 clients nationwide. We have employees domiciled in all 50 states, including Guam, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. So doesn't matter where in America a company's business is, we're able to provide our services to them, and obviously provide back some labor cost savings due to the fact we have a little stronger buying power in the marketplace.
Yeah, I would imagine. So let's talk about some specifics. What are some of the more popular services that you offer? And then maybe secondarily, is there a sweet spot, a particular type of company or a particular sector or size of employment that you do the most business with?
Sure. Definitely the bread and butter of a PEO is the payroll function. Being able to outsource all the administration for payroll, time and attendance, and the employer tax management portions, we're able to take that all off of business owners' plates, them saving them time and also money. Everything that I mentioned, Mike, none of these pieces make business owners money, but they're all necessary evils to running a top tier business. So, by outsourcing those, we're able to provide our services truthfully for pennies on the dollar as compared to hiring somebody internally. To your second point, I wouldn't say we have a sweet spot, but we're able to help out different companies depending on where they are in their business life cycle. For companies that just start out, maybe 5, 10, 15 employees, we make sense because it'd be a lot cheaper to outsource it than hiring on a full-time HR director. Instead of hiring one person, you hire a team of 54 employees. And then we also provide our human resource information system, Prism HR. So we provide the technology component to protect all of your employees' personal identifiable information, their data.
Okay.
If we're looking at some larger companies, that company, we see it all the time, especially in some of these, new trending industries such as the cannabis industry. Companies will start out at 5 employees, go to 15, and then by the end of the year, they bring on 3 new licenses, and now they're over 100 employees. That's great. That explosive growth is wonderful, except every time you reach certain plateaus, such as 50 employees, 100 employees, there's different labor laws that come into play that companies may or may not be aware of. Such as the Affordable Care Act, and then also EEOC compliance. So as these companies are in those growth modes, we're able to help them scale on demand by making sure that they stay in compliance with each of these different labor laws, and be able to still provide that service in an outsourced basis, whether a company has 1 employee or whether they have 250 or more. I would say our largest client at one time, they were receiving just under 3,000 paychecks a week.
You were raising your hand there, Dan. Did you want to say something? You're muted.
And I'm muted. So Anthony, I was just listening to you, and something occurred to me, because I was wondering if, I would assume it's less expensive to take advantage of your service than it is for me to bring on my own staff of whatever size. But I would also wonder I mean, from what I know, the laws around healthcare and the tax laws, just around how to manage like a 401k, right? And all that stuff changes a lot. And I can't imagine that a small business has the time or inclination even to keep up with all that stuff.
I would tend to agree, Dan. The issue is those laws change, and those laws also vary state by state. So, we might have certain employees that have certain labor laws in the state of Michigan that they have to abide by. But if I had those same employees based on the state of California, I got a whole different slew of different state compliant laws that we got to manage. So, when we go out to the marketplace for employee benefits, we use Hub International. They are, I believe, the third largest broker in the nation, and they're also the largest placer of workers' compensation insurance. So, we have their entire team and also their ACA compliance lawyers, the ERISA attorneys, we're able to provide a myriad of different resources instead of, just hiring that one HR director, that a company is truthfully rolling the dice on, that say, this one person, knows HR, knows all these labor laws like the back of their hand. It's a little difficult because, even in school, nobody sits down and, explains these types of laws. There's really no HR class. So, to gain that knowledge, we're able to bring in those different department heads, and, each of our directors have their own certain niche and their own expertise, where, instead of having that one person on site or that two person on site, we have 6 different directors and then our entire team of over 50 to fill out that HR department. The only difference is we're an email away. We're just not down the hall.
Yeah.
I'm thinking with the pandemic, a lot of businesses are starting and there's doing it kind of like what I'm doing. I work from a home office, right? And so there's smaller operations, and once they start hiring people, whether it's a virtual corporation or however they're going to do it, well, I'm pretty good at what I do, which is doing content. But other than that, I'm kind of operating in the dark, particularly when it comes to all these rules and regulations. So are you seeing a lot of people coming to you that are in that sort of circumstance where they got a small home-based business and it starts to grow and they're not sure what to do next, how to handle all those regs?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest value pieces that we provide our clients. I heard you mention COVID. We assisted all of our clients with their PPP loans and getting those payroll and the bank statements all compliant for them, so they would receive their federal funding. So we handle that, those services and handle those issues as well. Like you said, the small businesses, once you expand past one employee, you get 2 employees, and, now you need to have a workers' compensation policy in place. You need to, be providing payroll, make sure, employees are receiving their W-2s. So working with a company like ours, instead of getting that workers' compensation policy on your own that, may cost several $100s on up, we already have the policy in place. So we're able to add a new client on there, and, there's not going to be those expense constant fees on that policy. Those have already been factored in and spread over a larger pool. So instead of paying several $100s for, like you mentioned, a simple clerical company, you might only be paying 15-20 cents per $100 for your workers' comp insurance premium. Instead of having all those fixed costs in there, we're able to remove those and then pass along that labor savings, and also spread out the risk. That's the biggest thing is, we have clients in a myriad of different industries: healthcare, home health care, construction, steel erection, clerical, you name it. I could say that we probably have a client that does something or something similar. Some of those are high risk industries. Some of them are not. But what we're able to do is blend that pool of risk together and create an overall safe and secure program where clients aren't receiving large workers' compensation premium hikes year over year, in case they had some losses on their policy. Bring a company like ours in, we spread that risk out, so we'll be able to move those, spread that risk, and obviously save our clients money, and also prevent those large cost increases year over year. Currently, the last time I checked, our 5-year loss ratio for our work comp program was under 30%. So with numbers like that, we receive significant premium discounts, and those are some of the other cost benefits that working with a PEO, we're able to provide that policy at a lower cost than if a company was looking to secure it on their own.
Well, you've certainly convinced me that as we grow, we'll have to, work more closely together. But let's talk about how people can reach out to you now that you've told them all the various services that you offer, and maybe is there any sort of a price range you feel comfortable with disclosing? I don't want to paint you into a corner here or anything like that.
Yeah, not a problem. Obviously, our costs vary based because each company is uniquely different. They have different employees, they have different pay structures. But what we look to do is charge roughly $89 a month per employee. And then we convert that into a percentage of payroll. That way companies can budget accordingly for their HR function, whether that's 2%, 3%, 4%, depending on the size and scope of that business. We'd be able to handle all those outsourced pieces for that simple factor. Obviously, you see, at a number like that, it's more cost effective for smaller businesses. As companies get larger, that's where, we have some different value props, such as savings in healthcare, savings in workers' compensation. That way we can offset some of those costs for HR. So, if we're able to get a company to, even from hiring internally or externally, and, save them labor cost in healthcare, and then also workers' compensation, and that offsets our costs, then, we create a win-win-win scenario for everyone.
And if they want to reach out to you, Anthony, they want to get more details, they want to maybe sign up or whatever, how do they do that?
Sure. I put it here in my footer. You can reach us at www.americasbackoffice.com. You can reach out to me directly via LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We're all over the place in the digital world. And then also, if you have a cannabis specific business, we can be reached at THC123.com.